It feels like every single day there's some new technology that promises to change, well, everything. But underneath all those headlines, there's a much bigger shift going on. A really fundamental change in how we build things, how we run our world, and even how we work. The truth is, we're right in the middle of one industrial revolution, and believe it or not, we're already knocking on the door of the next one. So today, let's unpack that journey from Industry 4.0 to 5.0.
All right, here's our roadmap. First, we'll get a handle on the here and now, the age of automation, which we call Industry 4.0. Then we'll see how it's already shaking things up all around us. After that, we're going to look ahead to the evolution into Industry 5.0, really dive into its core values, and wrap up by asking the million-dollar question: are we actually ready for this next chapter? Okay, let's dive right in with where we are today. Industry 4.0. This is the revolution that's happening as we speak. The easiest way to think about it? It's the era of the smart factory. We're talking about a world where machines are all connected, processes are automated, and everything, and I mean everything, is driven by a constant, massive flow of data. When you boil it all down, Industry 4.0 is really about one main thing: efficiency. And it gets there using what's called cyber-physical systems. Now that sounds super complex, but it's just a fancy way of saying we're smashing together the digital world of data with the physical world of machinery. The end goal? To create systems that aren't just automated, but are actually intelligent. Systems that can optimize themselves on the fly. And this right here is the toolkit that makes the magic happen. You've got AI that can chew through mountains of data to make smarter decisions. You've got the Internet of Things, or IoT, that connects every single device with a sensor. And then there are things like digital twins, which are, get this, perfect virtual copies of a real-world object. I mean, imagine having a complete digital replica of a jet engine that you can test to destruction without ever leaving your desk. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. But look, this isn't just some futuristic theory or something that's only happening in a few secret high-tech labs. Industry 4.0 is already out there, right now, completely reshaping huge parts of our economy. Let's look at a few quick examples. Take logistics, for example. AI has basically become the new air traffic controller for the entire global economy. It's running fully automated warehouses, it's optimizing shipping routes in real time, it's making sure that the stuff you order gets from point A to point B way faster and cheaper than was ever possible before. And of course, manufacturing. This is the poster child for Industry 4.0, right? You've got sensors on every piece of equipment that can now predict when a part is about to fail, which prevents these incredibly expensive shutdowns. This level of digitalization means factories can run leaner, faster, and with a whole lot less waste. It's also changing how you shop and what you eat. Retail and food companies are using torrents of data to figure out exactly what we, the customers, want, which makes them way more competitive. And this tech isn't just working behind the scenes, it's creating totally new ways to engage with us, like those personalized recommendations that somehow know what we want even before we do. And the impact is just as huge in some of our oldest industries, like mining and construction. Remember those digital twins, the virtual replicas we just mentioned? Well, engineers are using them to model an entire construction site before a single shovel hits the dirt. Or they're using IoT sensors deep in mines. It's making dangerous jobs a lot safer, it's slashing costs, and it's bringing this incredible new transparency to really complex projects. So, if Industry 4.0 is so powerful and efficient, why on earth are we already talking about what comes next? Well, because it turns out efficiency isn't everything. The next step, Industry 5.0, isn't about replacing what we have. No, it's an evolution. It's about putting a really crucial missing piece back into the puzzle: us. Humans. Now this is where things get really interesting, because you can see the huge shift in philosophy. You see, Industry 4.0 was all about asking, how can technology make this process faster and cheaper? But Industry 5.0 asks a totally different question. How can this technology better serve people and the planet? The bull moves from just raw productivity to these bigger ideas like societal well-being. And the role of people shifts from someone who might be replaced by a machine to someone who is actively empowered by it. So to put it simply, Industry 5.0 takes all that amazing technological power from 4.0, but it aims it in a new direction, guided by 3 new core pillars. First, it's got to be human-centric, putting people first. Second, it has to be sustainable, respecting the limits of our planet. And third, it needs to be resilient, helping us build systems that can handle shocks and disruptions. All right, so let's break down what these big ideas, people, planet, and progress, actually look like when the rubber hits the road. How does this new vision really change the game? This whole human-centric idea is about completely flipping the script. For decades, we've had workers trying to adapt to the speed of new machines. Now, the goal is to design technology that works with and for people. This means creating tools that enhance our skills, not just replace them. It means production that can be personalized for what you as an individual need. And it means a whole new kind of collaboration, where human creativity and critical thinking work hand in hand with the incredible precision of machines. And that second pillar, sustainability, is all about reimagining what our technology is even for. That same AI that optimizes a supply chain in Industry 4.0 can be turned loose to design a circular economy in Industry 5.0, an economy that minimizes waste, that slashes emissions, and that actively helps us solve some of our biggest environmental headaches, like what to do with all those old batteries. Okay, this new world of human-machine teamwork sounds pretty amazing, right? But it brings us face to face with a massive challenge. See, for people to be empowered partners with all this tech, we need to have the right skills. And right now, there's a huge gap. What this chart is basically screaming at us is that there's a critical disconnect. As companies adopt all this new technology, the demand for advanced digital skills in things like AI, data science, cybersecurity is just skyrocketing. But the supply of graduates who actually have these skills isn't keeping up. To put it bluntly, we're kind of educating people for a world that's quickly disappearing. So the crucial takeaway here is that getting ready for Industry 5.0 isn't just about building new gadgets. It's about developing our people. And that's going to require a massive overhaul. We need to weave digital tools into the very fabric of how we teach. We have to make sure what's being taught in universities actually lines up with what companies need. We have to embrace the idea that learning is a lifelong thing now. And maybe most importantly, we've got to get our teachers ready to lead this digital-first charge. And that brings us to our final thought. As AI and automation get better and better at handling all the routine, repetitive, data-driven stuff, it frees us up to do the things that machines, well, they just can't do. So what does that leave us with? What is that uniquely human skill? Is it creativity, empathy, critical thinking? That's going to become our single most valuable asset in this new age of collaboration. That is the question at the very heart of this transition to Industry 5.0.